It's the end of the cooling season this year, and this window air conditioner didn't seem to cool as well this year as it did the previous year. And these need to be cleaned just like central air conditioning condensing units outside need to be cleaned. There's a coil on the front and a coil on the back. As it's sucking and pushing air, they clog up with pollen and dust and leaves and different things from the cooling season. So I'm going to take this out, get it all cleaned up and ready for next year's cooling season, and I'll show you how I do it. Now my unit happens to be on my screened-in porch on the back side, so I can brace it real easy. I can catch all the condensate water that comes out, and I insulated it real well. And I made a video on how I did that. If you want to see that, you can check it out in the description section below this video. Now when it comes to cleaning, of course, you all know the general maintenance of cleaning the filter. And you just pop the front off, lift it out, and here's our filter, and I always keep that clean. And that's not bad, but I just rinse this out, dry it, and put it back. Now, we need to get inside this, so I need to take this cover off. I'm going to take this front off. First thing I'm going to do is pull these accordions out, and you just pull those all the way out, and you've got to take this plastic piece out of that slide guide on the top and bottom, and then you just lift up and it slides out. So you don't get the sides confused. Yeah, there you go, left. So we know this is for the left side when you're looking at the front. Pull that out, slide it up, and you're out. Now next I want to take this case off, and so I'm going to take all the screws all the way around, and there's a few on top out. And they're just Phillips head screws. And now we can take the front panel off and remove that so we can get at this coil and clean that. Now this vent right here has to come out, and this side I'm going to pry out, and then this side is fixed, a little nub. So I'm going to pry this in, pop this side out, and then this other side will slide out, just like that. And you can see we need to clean that up. You see the hole there? And there's a little nub on there that goes in. And now I'll do the same thing that I did over here on this side. Push that metal in, pull that out, that'll slide out. And then I'm going to lift up, and these little clips here fit in these holes here. So when you reassemble, you set that in and then snap it on. Of course, we need to clean this all out. Here's our coil here. We need to clean that. I want to keep water away from this electronic component, so I'm going to set this on top while I'm cleaning. Or you could put a bag over it, tie it off there. Now we can pull the case off, and that just lifts off, and I'll clean that too. And now we're ready to clean it up. Now I don't know if you can see how dusty this coil is, but that clogs that up. All that dust and debris clogs that up, and then air can't flow through, and it doesn't cool as well. Now, over here, we've got our compressor, the other coil. All the electronics are in here, so I want to keep this dry. As I said, I want to keep this dry I'll put that on top. Now this coil on the back, see these bent fins? That's not good. That restricts airflow, so you want to be real careful. And you can get combs to fix these, but you want to be real careful not to dent these. You can use pressure from the hose, but I would not use a pressure washer on this because a pressure washer can push those fins over, and then you're restricting air and losing the efficiency. On this back one, I'm going to spray from the inside where the fan is out to push all the debris back out. And you can see that here. So I'm going to work in between the fins of the fan and work my way around and clean up this coil. On the front, this is all sealed here. I'm not going to open that up, but I'm going to spray all this dust and debris out of there. And I'll clean this up in here. And there's a vent on top of the case. And so water does get in here and goes over this section here. So that's not going to hurt anything. You just want to keep it away from the electronics up there. And the other thing I'm going to keep aside is the plug. There's a breaker on this plug, and I don't want to get this wet. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Now I don't have real bad damage here. I've got a razor blade, and I'm going to clean up these fins that are bent. And I just slide it in there. This one's got dirt in between there. But I just want to straighten these out the best I can. And you can get combs that fit in between those, and you just pull it up and it straightens them out. But I have very little damage. I don't have a comb handy, so I'm just going to clean this up. And you don't want to run your hand on this. This will cut you real quick. Now you want to be real gentle and careful when you're doing this. You don't want to hit your refrigerant line, cause a leak, and your air conditioner is no good. So this is a delicate process here. Maybe took me between 5 and 10 minutes to do all these. But now we got more air moving, and we're ready to clean. That's a lot better. Now there are spray cans of coil cleaner that you can get, but my concern is that they eat away at the aluminum on this coil, and I don't want to degrade this in any way. So I just use plain water. And then after you get the back side pushed out as best you can spray from the front side. And I spray at a downward motion like this because I want to push it down, not in. And I also want to get all the leaves and debris out of here. And now we'll look at that back coil, and I don't know if you can see this, but you can see right through there. She's nice and clean now. I don't know if you can see how dusty that is on the front side or not, but let's go ahead and clean it. Now you don't want to get water in here either because there's an inner fan in there. We're going to wipe this out, but spray this off, so I'm going to keep water out of there. And of course away from our electronics. Now there's weep holes in the bottom of this, but not everywhere. And so what I'm going to do is tip this and get the water out that's sitting in here. Now when you tip that like that, the oil in the compressor gets moved. And if you went ahead and plugged it in and fired it up, you could burn this out. So you want to if you've got this tipped, you want to let the oil settle out. And I'd give it 24 hours if you've left it on its side for a while. Now of course this is going to be stored over the winter, and I'm going to store it just like this. So the oil will be right in the compressor the way it's supposed to be. But you want to be careful about tipping those and getting the oil moved out of the compressor and burning that up. Here's the before, and there's the after. And now putting it back together is just the opposite of taking it apart. Now, I don't recommend using a battery drill to put this back together unless you're very familiar with one, because these are just plastic and you can strip them out real easy if you're not careful. And like I said, you slide this side in first, and then pop that side in. You can see it just snap. It's a snap fit. It helps to pull here and push on that, and then you can get that in there. And that gives you your adjustment there. Put our filter in, and the filter cover, these clips, just snap in the bottom here. And then it just pops in. 2 and 3. Then you just pull that out, get your bottom channel in, your top channel in, and you're all set. And we'll wipe our cord down, and we're all ready for the heat next summer. If this video was a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to helping you with other projects online.